Welcome to the NCAA National Office in Indianapolis, Indiana, the beginning point of the AA Zone's Indiana Basketball Extravaganza. My colleague Ryan Powell and I will see men's and women's games from Division 1, 2, and 3 schools all over the state of Indiana, and we're excited to bring it to you. So let's get it going.
Our first stop was Indiana State University, located in Terre Haute, a little over an hour drive from Indianapolis. Indiana State is the alma mater of Larry Bird, and he played at the Holman Center during his collegiate days.
We're standing in front of the 1979 Indiana State basketball trophies where Larry Bird led the Sycamores to the national championship game where they squared off against Magic Johnson's Michigan State squad.
Indiana State is also the place where Indiana native John Wooden began his collegiate coaching career. From 1946 to 48, he led Indiana State Teachers College, as it was known then, to a 47-14 record, and left to become the head coach at UCLA. On the court this evening, Indiana State had its way with Eastern Illinois with a 13-point victory in women's basketball action. It was a great start to our extravaganza. We then made the return trip to Indianapolis for the game between two Division III Indiana schools, Trine University and Anderson University. This game was taking place at Conseco Fieldhouse, home to the NBA's Pacers and the WNBA's Fever. The arena had to be transformed into a college-ready venue after the Pacers' double overtime game against the Los Angeles Clippers. Because of this, the 9:30 p.m. scheduled tip between Trine and Anderson ended up starting late and going past midnight, although it was still certainly a thrill for these Division III student-athletes to play in an NBA venue that seats over 18,000 people. On the court, the acting home team Anderson controlled the game from the outset. Now the home teams were 2-0 on our extravaganza. The next morning began a little earlier than we originally anticipated. Indianapolis' RCA Dome was getting demolished. It had been out of use since August when the brand new Lucas Oil Stadium was built across the street. The RCA Dome has played a big part in Indiana basketball history over the last several years as the site of 5 NCAA Final Fours, and this morning's demolition was a memorable event to attend. We then headed for the University of Indianapolis, a Division II school located in the southern part of the city. Indianapolis is the first of two Great Lakes Valley Conference schools we would be visiting on this trip. It was quite a change seeing a game in the cozy confines of Nickerson Hall for this 1 p.m. tip against Lincoln Memorial. Indianapolis had its way with the Lincoln Memorial on the floor in this women's contest, jumping out to a big lead and running away with the easy victory. After Indianapolis had its game well in hand, we snuck out to Butler University, located on the north side of Indianapolis.
Behind me is Hinkle Fieldhouse on the campus of Butler University. It was built in 1928, and at the time it was the largest basketball venue in the country. It has hosted numerous Indiana high school championships over the last 80 years and currently is listed in the U.S. National Register of Historic Places.
Inside Hinkle Fieldhouse on this afternoon, Butler entertained Florida Gulf Coast and continued the home dominance that we had seen throughout our trip. A relatively easy 20-point win, and now the home teams were 4-0 on our extravaganza. Our next stop was Conseco Fieldhouse once again, located a short drive away from Butler's campus in downtown Indianapolis. The John Wooden tradition was taking place, which is always a special event to attend. The first of two games featured a top 25 matchup between Stephen Curry's Davidson Wildcats and Wooden's alma mater and local power, Purdue. The Purdue-dominated crowd was rocking Conseco from the outset, and it was an awesome atmosphere. The Boilermakers responded to their fans and got off to a sizzling hot start on their way to another win for the Indiana schools on our trip. We then left Indianapolis for South Bend, Indiana, a 3-hour journey to the campus of Notre Dame. The passion and tradition that are often associated with Notre Dame athletics were apparent when walking around the Joyce Center, even though the students, band, and cheerleaders weren't in attendance due to the winter break. I would love to attend a Big East game here with a packed house. On this evening, Notre Dame was hosting an overmatched Delaware State squad, and the Fighting Irish controlled the action on the court on their way to a 38-point victory.
Well, this marks the halfway point of the Indiana Basketball Extravaganza. It's been 2 days, 6 games, and 371 miles traveled so far. All 6 games have been won by the home team by an average margin of over 23 points per ball game. We have hundreds of miles to travel over the next 2 days, and it should be a lot of fun.